talking about the season as a whole, we learned something out there in Vegas, and it's maybe what we knew. Kyle Larson, pretty good. 5-team, pretty good. Hendrick cars, very fast. But it was the first quote-unquote normal race of the season, Jeff. Did you learn anything? Did you have any questions answered that you wanted to know, especially knowing that we had just 2 drafting races prior to that?
Again, Alan, no. I think what we found out is that Hendrick continues to have, teams that are performing at championship level. I mean, Byron winning Daytona, and then all of a sudden here's Kyle Larson winning here at third race at Las Vegas. I think they understand their balance. I think they got their pit crews working efficiently together. That's kind of predictable. That's the way normal stuff runs at Hendrick Motorsports, but it's good to see 2311 being as strong as they are this early in the year. Also, Trackhouse, we wondered what happened to them a year ago. They weren't the team the year before. It seemed like they've got their swagger back, and I think that's really what I'm looking at. We see good speed out of Richard Childers Racing, especially Kyle Larson, but they've still got problems on pit road, and they've got to get those cleaned up, or we're going to hear more naughty language from owner Richard Childers about y'all. Y'all need to clean your act up, or we're going to have to have them come to Jesus meeting.
A bunch of points there I can touch on, but he mentioned Trackhouse, and they finished 4th and 11th yesterday after not really having a great day whatsoever. If you're telling me a bad day for Trackhouse is 4th and 11th when you've struggled most of the day, I would say that's pretty good. An improvement from last year if a bad day is 4th and 11th.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think about where they are already with one of their drivers in the playoffs. And then you think about Ross, and, Ross, he did an interview. I think he probably did it on television, but I know he did it on radio as well, where he was so dejected with a 4th place finish. And I think that says a lot about a driver and where they are. I mean, obviously he was dejected about the fact that he had sped on pit road for 3 weeks in a row, and that he feels like he could have gotten more out of his car had he not had those setbacks. And I think that speaks volumes, because when you can be that dejected after a 4th place run, there's more there. There's more to give. And I think we're only going to see more out of them as the year goes on. And both of the cars, both of them, between Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez, I think we're going to see a lot from both of them.
Jeff, if you are a Ford or Toyota team, 4 Toyotas in the top 10, in the top 8, really, with this new nose, with all the unanswered questions, all the unknowns, do you walk away at least a little happy to know you're not that far out to lunch? It seems like they got better as the race went along. The notebook is starting to be filled up. I mean, it was 0.4 seconds that Tyler Reddick was behind Kyle Larson. With all these unknowns, 0.4 seconds, not that bad, right? 0.4 of a second?
Well, I mean, after what we saw at Atlanta, I mean, if you're not right there, side by side, nose to nose, going to the start-finish line at the end of the day, you feel like you're still out to lunch. I mean, most teams, yes, you will lick your wounds and you'll say that's the good point. But the main thing is you had a Chevrolet lead 181 laps. As you put it out, you're the one that said it, dominated the competition. When you're that kind of shape, it's hard to feel good about anything. So, yeah, you will try to extract the best you can out of it, but there needs to be that first statement made with this new nose with a win. So when they're going into Phoenix this upcoming weekend, if they don't qualify well, but yet when they drop the green flag, they march to the front, it tells me they got balance and they got to work on it.
As early as it is in the season, how important is it to have a good run at Phoenix? Because that is going to be the race to which we end and choose a champion. Like if you go into Phoenix in March and have a really good race, what does that bode really well for you? Should you make it there, at the end of the year? Can you translate those two?
I can.
Yeah.
It's really simple. Ryan Blaney. Yeah. If you look at Ryan Blaney's track the last few years, he's been good at Phoenix in the spring. He's been good there in the fall. And last year, he was good enough to win a championship because of his consistency. So they've got something figured out as far as their setup's concerned. But more importantly, the main thing there is Ryan himself having confidence. I'm going to a racetrack that I love.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost, I think, took the golden horseshoe from Kevin Harvick because those two guys pretty much own good finishes, not always wins, but good finishes at Phoenix. So that's where you get your confidence booster. I'll be watching this weekend to see whether or not when we show back up there is the, I guess you might say, is this the medicine that they need? And I'm talking about Phoenix, for Penske Racing at Phoenix. can they go out there, qualify well, and kind of control the tempo of the race? If they can do that, then yes, they're going to feel real good. If we can get in the Final Four and make it to Phoenix, we got another shot to win a championship.
We touched on what we know on the good side of things so far in 2024. The other side, Brad Keselowski, not a great day in Las Vegas. Struggled most of the day and probably finished 13th better than where he was running most of the day. Same with Joey Logano, starting on the pole, kind of going to the back, struggling handling-wise, and then finishing 9th. Again, probably some of the best he ran all day, unfortunately, was getting that 9th-place finish. Is it too early to overreact? What do we know about the RFK cars? Because not the start that they want. It's still early, but it's still a bad start.
Okay, let's condense it down. If you really want to look at it and compare apple to an apple, you've got to look at all the 4 teams. I see an improvement in Stewart-Haas this season. I see a continuation of the Penske, steady Eddie, always doing good stuff and being around. They're looking really good. But when you look at RFK, you're kind of scratching your head and you're wondering, what are they missing over there that the other 4 teams have seemed like they've got? And I think that's where everything kind of boils back down. And people say, okay, it's still early in the season. Yes. But when you are trying to get some momentum going, you want to be more positive. You want to be more of people considering, hey, you're a contender. I mean, it's hard to argue that Ryan Blaney has lost anything this year as a champion. He keeps hanging around. Last week, he just barely gets beat out for his first win of the year, finishes 3rd yesterday. So it's like these are the kind of things that keep you feeling good about what you've done in the off season. When you're struggling like they are, I'm talking about RFK, that can be concerning. But let's look at it like this. You've got manufacturer teammates that tell you there is a solution somewhere.